and welcome back to another video. I'm Bortilify, and on December 8th, I say this in every video, it is going to be my 1 year anniversary for the channel, so please drop a like and subscribe if you want to support me. Anyways guys, as you can see on the screen, there is a tier list. And I've seen a lot of videos like this, especially from MJTV. He does quite a few of these. And today, I am going to be ranking every generation, but with the problem that I had facing when I wanted to prepare this video is that with all the other videos, they kind of do multiple tier lists in one video. And while I don't really want to do that, I just want to do one tier list in one video. The problem is I either have one or two choices, pretty much. I can either make the video very short and just talk about one tier list, or I can talk about multiple tier lists and make the video longer. Then I found something that can kind of combat this theory and kind of make the video at least a little bit longer than it hopefully would have ended up to be if I just quickly talked about the rankings. So what I wanted to go do is I wanted to just say where I think this certain gen of games ranks on the list, and then I am going to put it in a bit more depth and more detail and how I think it works. And if that makes any sense to you guys, then let me know in the comments. But also really quickly, before we get into the video, I just want to say that I'm so grateful for you guys. I got almost 10,000 views on the whole channel. I'm almost a year old in this channel, and I just think it's amazing. And also, I have these candies from the last video, sour candies. So please let me know in the comments below what you would like me to use those for. But with that being said, if you do enjoy this video, please like and subscribe. And I'm going to get to the tier lists. So when making this video, I had to carefully consider where I wanted to put all of the 8 generations and how I was going to rank them based on that. So I am not going to go like, and as you can see, I'm not going to go on common tier, then up to uncommon tier, then rare, then epic, legendary, mythic, in that order like a lot of other people do. I am just going to list the gens in order and see where I think I would put it. Now, starting off with Gen 1 is definitely a mythic class. So we gotta stick that right at the top. I think that this is mythic class because Gen 1 is the classic game. And some people may think it's bad, and I'm just putting it there because of nostalgia. I just recently bought Pokemon Yellow, so maybe that is true. But I still think that it needs to be mythic. Without the Gen 1 games, the Pokemon game franchise wouldn't be a thing, and we wouldn't be where we are today. And I think it's definitely a revolutionary in the Pokemon game community, and I definitely think it deserves a mythic spot. It introduced legendaries, being the only game that had a legendary at the time. It brought just a whole new feel to video games that I think changed it forever. Another reason why I think it deserves mythic tier is that Gen 1 is just a straight up a lot of people's favorite gens. It has Charmander and Charizard, one of the most popular Pokemon ever, and I do think that it is beloved by the fans for that reason a lot more. So moving on to Gen 2, we got the Johto region, and I think Gen 2 deserves a legendary class. Now, I do love Gen 2, but what stops it from being mythic class is just its limitations and diversity. Pretty much the only things that changed it out and made it stand out from Gen 1 was the fact that it had baby Pokemon, and you could go to 2 regions at once, and then they added a bit more Pokemon. But it honestly just kind of felt like an upgraded version of Gen 1 that I could probably live without, but I do still think that it is an amazing gen. I think where a lot of people, though, get their nostalgia from it and their liking of the gen is from the original 3 starters there. Totodile, Chikorita, and that one fire type. Don't remember the fire type, honestly, but, yeah, I think that is where the fans get a lot of their nostalgia. And I also have Pokemon Crystal, and I think that it is an amazing gen. Had some of the best legendaries brought into the game, Suicune being my second favorite legendary ever, and Raikou being my first favorite. So 2 of my favorite legendaries introduced in one of my favorite gens is just absolutely amazing. And I definitely think that Gen 2 stands out from the rest of the gens, and it deserves its spot as a legendary class. Moving on to Gen 3 has to be Mythic class. While I could be being a bit biased here, and honestly I probably am, because Gen 3 is one of my favorite games of all time. I have so much childhood memories of it. My favorite game is Pokemon Alpha Sapphire, which was my first ever game ever, and some people could argue it's part of Gen 6, but it's mainly Gen 3, as it is a Gen 3 remake, so I just consider it Gen 3, and that was my first game ever as a kid. It came out when I was like 6, and I think that it was an amazing game, and the Pokemon are insane there, and my favorite Pokemon is in fact Sceptile. And yeah, Gen 3 has Sceptile. And then in Gen 6, they gave him a Mega Evolution. He's just like the most sick Pokemon ever. But they also did add some popular Pokemon and some interesting, insane Pokemon into the franchise in Gen 3, like Milotic, one of the most rare and awesome Pokemon to have in the games. Moving on to Gen 4, that is Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. Now, I don't really have that much nostalgic feel for Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, so I'm going to give it a rare ranking. I gave it the rare ranking because, well, it is a good game, and it did bring some fan-beloved characters into the game. I just don't think it has that wow factor to boost it up to epic or even legendary. I do like how they incorporated the trio again and made another side game, kind of like Crystal, with Gold and Silver. They had Diamond, Pearl, and then they had Platinum. I think that was really cool, and I don't really know what to say about it. It did have some pretty okay starters. They weren't the best starters ever by any means, but they still were pretty good, and I couldn't put it any lower than rare because I just feel bad doing so. Moving on to Gen 5, we got, be prepared for this one, Black, White, White 2, and Black 2. And I'm going to give that an epic ranking. I'm giving it an epic ranking because I have a nostalgic feeling for it. I had Black 2 as a kid, and it was a really, really fun game. I loved the starters. I love the fact that you can fuse the 2 legendaries that are in your game, Kyurem and your box legendary, together. That was amazing. And the only thing stopping it really from bumping back down to rare, like Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum did, is the fact that, for one, you can fuse the legendaries together, and 2, I have a nostalgic feel with the game. And those are pretty much the only things stopping it from bumping down to rare category. Now, I think that's enough talk about Gen 5. Let's move on to Gen 6. Gen 6 has to be a legendary tier. Gen 6 is one of my favorite gens ever, and I have enough kid nostalgia with it that it's just awesome. It introduced Mega Evolution, some of the best box legendaries ever, Yveltal being one of my favorite legendaries ever, and Xerneas' Shiny just being awesome. Gen 6 brought us amazing features to the game that I don't think any other gen could. I really hope with some of the next Pokemon games that release on the Switch, they release an X and Y remake. I think that would definitely satisfy the fans. And just to bring back the Gen 6 talk, go back to one of my previous videos. It's called Things That Pokemon Need in an X and Y Remake. Please check that one out. And let's move on to Gen 7. Gen 7 consists of Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon, and this was one of my favorite gens ever. But I'm going to put it in Epic tier because it's not that special, and it doesn't stand out really from the rest of the games. I do think had a good feature in it, where you can fuse legendaries. That was cool. They had some good Alolan forms, but some of them weren't great. And they brought back Mega Evolution, which didn't really disappear, but it did in the later gens, which sucks. So I am putting it only in Epic tier though, because it doesn't give us that oomph that we need in an amazing Pokemon game that'll get us in love back with the franchise. I pretty much bought it, beat the game, had fun, tried to get some shinies for the Ultra Wormholes, and I haven't really played it since. It's just kind of a side thing I like to do now and then, but I don't really think that it deserves to be in Legendary, but on other people's lists it would be. But I definitely do not think that it should be any lower than Epic tier, so that's why I put it at the Epic tier. Now, guys, moving on to the final gen, and the most latest gen is Gen 8, which is Sword and Shield for the Nintendo Switch. Now, I do, in fact, really like this gen, and it is really spectacular apart from the rest of the games, and I do think they did some cool things with the actual game, especially in the DLC. But Sword and Shield isn't really the best, so I'm just going to refrain it to Epic tier, maybe on Rare tier, depending on who you talk to. So I'm just going to put it in both Epic and Rare tier. Well, I do, in fact, love this gen. It brought so many cool things and land forms. Just like Sun and Moon, it doesn't have that oomph that the game needs to pick up the franchise right off its feet and just boost it. And I just think that's all I need to say about Sword and Shield. It's just not the best game. And I think by this video we can tell that some of the older games are the best. But anyways, guys, I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye. Hope you enjoyed. And I'm going to make a video later because something's happening. So, see you in the next one.